Why do we feel guilty resting and still exhausted hustling? Because nobody taught us the law of polarity. Today, we're talking about the law of polarity, the understanding that everything has two sides, and those sides are not enemies. Soft life and hustle culture are not opposites fighting each other. They are the same energy expressed at different degrees. Rest and grind sit on the same line. Receiving and providing sit on the same line. Feminine and masculine energy sit on the same line. The problem isn't wanting ease, and the problem isn't working hard. The problem is being stuck at one extreme. Many Black women were taught survival first, so hustle became safety. Now we're learning softness, and some people call it lazy, selfish, or unrealistic. But the law of polarity teaches us this. You don't abandon one side to reach the other. You shift along the spectrum. When survival is your first teacher, hustle becomes safety. It teaches you, stay alert, stay useful, stay producing. Rest felt dangerous because stillness once meant loss. So when softness shows up, it feels unfamiliar, not wrong, but unsafe. Shifting along the spectrum doesn't mean quitting the grind. It means changing why and how you move. What shifting along the spectrum actually looks like. It looks like working without panic. You're still building, but you're no longer running from fear. The urgency softens. The body relaxes. It looks like resting without guilt. Rest stops feeling like something you have to earn. You don't explain it. You don't apologize for it. It looks like boundaries replacing burnout. You stop overgiving to prove your worth. You stop bleeding for rooms that wouldn't bandage you. It looks like discernment instead of endurance. You no longer pride yourself on how much you can handle. You choose what aligns. It looks like receiving without shrinking. Help, ease, love, money. You don't deflect it or dilute it to stay comfortable for others. You stop swinging between extremes. No more all-or-nothing cycles. No more collapse after overexertion. You realize softness doesn't erase strength. It refines it. And hustle doesn't disappear. It becomes intentional, not compulsive. People who benefited from your exhaustion will struggle with your balance. They knew you as survival. They don't recognize you as regulated. That's why they call it lazy. That's why they call it selfish. That's why they call it unrealistic. I didn't stop working. I stopped working from trauma. The law of polarity teaches us that growth isn't choosing a side. It's learning how to stand in the middle with wisdom. And balance isn't something you explain. It's something you embody. You can rest and build. You can receive and contribute. You can choose peace and still be powerful. Balance isn't weakness, it's mastery. Sankofa historical reference, law of polarity. This isn't new for us. When we reach back, Sankofa, we see Black women have always lived along the spectrum. Take Harriet Tubman. She was not only a warrior, she was also a nurse, a strategist, a woman who rested in safe houses, a woman who prayed, listened, waited, and then moved. Harriet understood the law of polarity before it had a name. She knew when to run and when to be still, when to fight and when to hide, when to push forward and when to pause. She didn't survive by staying at one extreme. She survived by shifting along the spectrum. That same wisdom lives in us. Our ancestors didn't confuse rest with weakness. They knew regulation was survival. So when we choose balance today, we are not abandoning strength. We are remembering it. This isn't softness replacing strength. This is ancestral wisdom returning to the body. When we reach back and fetch it, we remember. Black women have always known how to move between worlds. When we reach back, Sankofa, we don't have to travel far. Right here in Clearwater, we remember Christine Wigfall Morris. In 1949, during segregation, she opened the first public library for Black residents in North Greenwood. She wasn't loud, but she was firm. She wasn't rushing, but she was consistent. She lived the law of polarity before we named it. She balanced resistance and restraint, service and boundaries, patience and purpose. She didn't burn herself out trying to prove her worth. She built something sustainable, quietly, steadily, so generations after her could access knowledge, safety, and possibility. That's what shifting along the spectrum looks like. So when Black women today choose balance over burnout, rest over constant resistance, discernment over endurance, we are not abandoning the work. We are continuing it wisely. Our ancestors didn't survive by staying exhausted. They survived by knowing when to move and when to pause. In Clearwater, in Greenwood, in our own backyards, the wisdom is already here. When we reach back and fetch it, we remember how to build and breathe. You can rest and build. You can receive and contribute. You can choose peace and still be powerful. Balance isn't weakness, it's mastery. I allow myself to move along the spectrum. I honor both rest and effort. I release extremes and choose balance. I am not lazy for resting, and I am not broken for wanting ease. When you understand the law of polarity, you stop arguing with life and start guiding your energy with wisdom. Join the conversation, comment, like, and share. Subscribe to the Temple for Black Women on YouTube and follow at Sankofa Sisters 3 on TikTok. And remember, the law of polarity teaches us you're not stuck, you're just standing at one end. Shift your position and everything changes. Fetch the wisdom, live the truth. We're giving back to our community. Once we reach 500 subscribers here on the Temple for Black Women YouTube channel, we will select 5 winners to receive one of 5 prizes. 1 designer handbag, Visa gift cards in the amounts of $25, $50, $75, and $100. To enter, subscribe to the Temple for Black Women on YouTube. Like this video. Comment your thoughts to join the conversation. That's it. Winners will be announced right here on the channel once we hit 500 subscribers. This giveaway is our way of saying thank you, and this is how the law of vibration works. What you support, supports you right back.